Hello stitchy friends, it's Chari. Welcome back to my channel and another FLOSSTUBE video. So it's been a couple weeks. Happy early St. Patrick's Day. I will be wearing my green tomorrow, but I have some St. Patty's Day finishes to share with you today. The other thing that I want to share today is a new stitch along with hands-on design and one of the new designs from Nashville Needlework Market. So I'm going to pop up a graphic here. This is, actually let me get my piece of paper here. This is Call Me Crafty. This is the first in a series of designs. Kathy has already told us there's going to be 3 of these, and if you follow her on Instagram and you saw her little video tour of her Nashville Needlework booth or room, you got a sneak peek of the other 2. So if you didn't catch that, you should definitely go check that out. But the first one is Call Me Crafty, and we are going to do a stitch along for this stitch. Now, I did break this into 3 sections because I like to have a little bit of a schedule. It keeps me on task. But if that's not your thing, you can totally ignore that. There's also no real hard start date for this. I plan on starting mine probably next weekend. So that's what, like the 21st, next Friday. And probably stitch a section per week. You can also start wherever you want. Now, I am going to say that I am going to change up my colors a little bit, and I'm going to talk about that in today's video because I know I get a lot of comments from people when I do change up colors that say, oh, I wish I could do that. I like how you do that. So I thought I'd kind of show you my process a little bit, and maybe that won't make changing colors out so scary. But Kathy and I did talk about how this stitch is perfect to kind of change the colors to match your craft room. And so we're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. But I'm going to start out with the normal haul and whips and all that, and then we'll do the color conversion portion at the end. I do want to say that I always forget to say that I put timestamps down in the description below, so if you want to jump to something or come back to this video and see what we talk about for color conversions, you can always do that. The other thing I wanted to say about this project is there is a finishing piece that Chantel has created called the Clipster, and I'm really hoping to finish my piece on that as well. So we're going to do a section per week, with the 4th week for any catch-up and finishing that you want to do. You can start whenever it works for you. You can start in any portion of the chart that you want to, but use the hashtag HOD CraftRoomSal is the one we're going to use. But the other thing I would love for you to do is to tag me and tag Kathy so that we can reshare your progress as we all stitch this really fun craft room series. Now, each of these charts also has a little bonus chart, and if you get all 3 charts, you get a whole bonus chart. So it's a portion of the chart in each of these. So you got to get all 3 to get the whole bonus, and we will talk about that a little later too. I'm not sure if I'm going to stitch each piece as I go or stitch them all together. I haven't quite figured that one out for myself, but of course you can do whatever you want. So it is the hashtag HOD CraftRoomSal and at Hands On Design and at Chari Moss, and we're going to start having some crafty fun. So let's jump right into haul and whips and finishes and all that good stuff. Okay, so let's talk haul. I don't really have a lot of haul because my pre-ordered charts from Needlework Market have not yet arrived. I was hoping they would arrive yesterday, but they didn't. So hopefully Monday. But my friends at Benzie Design, which is the wool felt and all of the felting supplies, are celebrating their 15th birthday this year, and they sent me this fun anniversary kind of pack of goodies to share. So there are 2 project bags, and inside them they also sent me a fun needle minder. This looks like the front, the storefront of this store, which I've never been to, but if ever I get to Chicago, maybe I can go check it out. Some really cute, fun washi tape. These really fun scissors. There's also ones that are cool tones in the ombre. Of course, there's the big project bag, and they also have a little one too. I already have a couple of these. They're very useful. And in this one, they sent me a fun sticker, which I'll probably stick on my little Rascog cart over here where I keep all of my crafting goodies. And then this fun anniversary cross stitch kit. So this is stitched on perforated paper. I'll just take it out so you can see. So there's perforated paper, there's the felt to go on the back, there's a needle and all of the strings that you need to stitch this cute little design, which looks like the storefront as well. And I will put links to all these things down in the description below because you too can celebrate Benzie's birthday with them if you want any of these really fun goodies. I really do love these little zipper bags. They're very handy. And I need to take the tag off my scissors and put those to use. So that's really all kind of the haul I have to share. So now let's go to new starts, which I have 2. Let's see here. So this is Simply Spring by the Drawn Thread. And I started this this week. I think it was this week. I've stitched on it maybe 2 or 3 nights. And this is as far as I've gotten. It's not looking super springy yet. But here are the colors. So I think when I get to pulling in the pink and the purple, it's going to really start to look a little more springy, which are, you can see the little flowers. Hopefully you can see. Let me pick it up. These little flowers and the little nest are some specialty stitches. So I'm looking forward to that. I think these charts are really fun because each one has had just like a fun specialty stitch to add to it. This piece has Autumn, which has the satin stitch leaves. And I also have done Winter, which had these really tiny Smyrna crosses for the snowflakes. So now I'm on to spring, and then once spring is done, I'll do summer here. And then I will cut these apart and figure out how I want to display them. And I want to display them in such a way where I can change them out every season. So that is Simply Spring by the Drawn Thread. Oh, this is, the fabric is called Prairie Land. I think it's Atomic Ranch. And I believe this is 32. And the charts actually call for 1 strand on 32. So this is 1 strand over 2 on 32. The other new start that's also a whip is a St. Patrick's Day stitch, but obviously I'm not going to have it done by then, but I still don't mind stitching on it in March. So I started and I'm working on that side panel, and then I'll do the top second. This is stitched, called for is Artichoke, and it's 28 count. I'm stitching mine on 32 count platinum. I thought that the Artichoke was just slightly green. I think that this works just fine. And I'm using most of the called for colors, which are Weeks Dye Works. I did just go pull some DMCs for some of the colors I didn't have, especially since like this color was only at this heart and the hands were only here and they're not throughout the rest of the chart. So for like the clovers And the words, I did get the Weeks Dye Works that are called for those. And I do have the pin pack as well, so hopefully I can get this finished maybe before March is over. We'll see. Okay, I think the other things that I have started since we were here last, I've actually completely finished. So this was a free chart from Primrose Cottage in their newsletter, or their email, I should say. And it's just St. Patrick's Day. The called for threads are Cottage Garden threads, which I don't have, but I just pulled some color and cotton threads. So I didn't put these away so I could share because it's only 3 colors. This is where it's really easy to pull colors that you have, especially on charts like this where it's only 3 colors. So I needed a green, a gold, and a black. And so these are the ones that I used for this chart. This is stitched on 40 count platinum. And then I just finished it off with some fabric that I had actually purchased a fat quarter bundle from Primrose a while back. But that is Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's really cute. I have a bunch of pillows I finished yesterday. Let's see what else is in here. Let's see if I have a chart still in here to look at for this guy. Yes. So this is With Thy Needle and Thread, Oh Lucky Day. I stitched this one. And for the most part, he's the called for DMC. When I got to the rainbow, I wanted it to be a little less solid, so I pulled some overdyed, I think it was a mixture of color and cotton and classic Colorworks. The other changes I made were his coat here was a little too solid because it's just a DMC, and if you can see, I actually went and backstitched and gave it some stripes in a darker green. The called for the gold in the pot was a metallic DMC, and I actually used some gold beads for that. And this had some cool like satin stitches over the shamrocks to make them stand out a little bit, but I just think he turned out really cute. So I stitched this on 36 count, I believe it's Chai. I'll put it on the bottom of the screen because I can't always remember. And I finished this one up yesterday, used some fun fabric, and this is my first time actually stitching on the chenille trim, and I think it turned out really cute. I had an extra little bow I had made when I made this one, and I just put a pin from Cherry Chick and added that little bow to the top, especially since there's nothing in these top corners of this design. So that is Oh Lucky Day. Let's see what also I finished, which you saw this finished before, but now it's fully finished. And this is Lucky Charm, which I don't have my threads anymore that I pulled, but I pulled 4 color and cottons for this. This is stitched on 40 count flannel flower by Fox and Rabbit. And I finished this into a pillow yesterday, stitched the chenille trim on, used some shamrock fabric from that same fat quarter bundle. Also, the trims I use for these is from Vintage Needle Art. So Sweetgrass is what I used on this one, and Fern is what I used on this guy. I really think this one's really pretty. It's not overly in your face St. Patty's Day, but I think it's very pretty the way it turned out. And then the other one I finished yesterday is this little 9 patch from Primrose Cottage. I stitched this probably like 2 years ago actually, and I had never fully finished it. So for this one, what I actually did was I appliqued it onto my fabric. So you can see it's stitched on rather than sewing it with a sewing machine. And I kind of like that for these little teeny tiny pillows versus trying to like sew that fabric on. Also for this particular fabric with that pattern, then I cannot have to worry about seams as I go around it. So it turned out really cute. And so here are my 4 little pillows that I can now put in my dough bowl for St. Patty's Day. I actually have one more finish. I realized in my last video I had not finished this yet. So I think I was about here. So now Stand Firm is completely done. I love the fabric this is on. This is called Boston, but I really think that it made the monument stand out really well. I believe I talked about this in the last one. This is all the called for DMC. I did change out the color that was for the words so that it was a shade darker and would stand out, because what was called for was the same color that is like the roof of the house, and I wanted to make sure that that stood out. So this one is finished, and I need to figure out how I'm going to frame it because it's not quite a normal size. It's a little wider than a 5x7, so I may need to figure out a different kind of frame for it, but I really love how it turned out. So that's Stand Firm by Sweet Wing Studio, and that is stitched on, I believe it's 36 count. I just put it at the bottom. Oh, here's, yes, 36 count Boston by Seraphim. Let's talk about Call Me Crafty Stitch Along. So this is my kind of breakdown. We're going to use this as a guide for the colors. And by the way, this is going to be stitched on 32 count antique white linen. That is the called for. Let's see. I'm gonna figure out. So sometimes what I like to do is start out with what the called for colors are. So in this case, we have 02, 03, 04. Let's see. Do I have these right? Yes, 156, 157, 350, 780. Okay, so these are all the called for plus white. Okay, so you could also use your DMC chart if you wanted to, but for visualization, I thought that this would be the easiest way to look at it. So I've paired them up. You know, we have 3 grays, 2 shades of pink, 2 shades of blue, 2 shades of brown, and 2 shades of indigo. That's pretty easy to figure out, right? Well, this red, although I do like it, to me is a little more orange than what I want. So, and by the way, Kathy did kind of channel her inner Chari's craft room in this design, because as you can see from FLOSSTUBE, I have teal walls. What you don't see in my room is that my accent colors are red. So she was pretty on point with that. But they're more of like a pinky red. And so I am going to change this one out to this color. Now, I'm actually going to, oh, this color is, sorry, 3328. I'm actually going to keep 760 as my light color. This is my word, right? This is where the most red is going to be. So those are going to stay that way. So I've only switched out the one color. Actually, you should look at my notes here. Did I take notes? Yes. All right. So then what we want to look at is the accent colors. What do we have here? I'm going to keep the grays most likely because my desk is gray. I have grays in my room. For the desk itself though, since the sewing machine is this dark gray, I don't really want my desk to also be gray, but to me these browns are a little too reddish brown. So what I'm going to do is probably pull in some shades that are a little more taupey brown, right? This one, probably this one, so that it's dark enough. So I'll take away the reddish browns and I've replaced them with some more taupey browns. I will probably keep this one in here, but I don't think it's enough contrast for that. So now on to these colors. These colors are the lines at the top and the bottom, the lamp. And these are really nice, but they're a little more blue. I want it to match my craft room. So I am probably going to start pulling in some more tealy blues. And let's see, 959, is that this one? Yeah, 959, 958, 964. So I only need 2. Obviously 964 is going to replace this one. And maybe this one instead of this one. So now I've got some teals instead of the blues. And a lot of times I'll keep these ones that are kind of in between with my chart, because even though I'm starting out with these colors, I may be like, oh, I need more of a contrast. So I'll just keep them in my project bag. And I do have some of these already bobbin too. I just feel like it's easier to show you with the full skeins of floss. So back over here to our called for, I'm keeping these. I've replaced all the ones in between. And now these 2 colors are the quilt blocks, which you could change out to any color you wanted. For me, in my room, I have a lot of rainbow things. I have a lot of colors. I'm a paper crafter. I have markers in every color, inks in every color, rainbow decor on my wall. So what I am going to do for my chart personally is change out each of these blocks to be a different color of the rainbow. I will probably skip pink or red because there's a lot of red already in this chart. And really, I just need 2 colors, right? So I'm going to pull these guys out and move all this stuff sort of up so we can, and the white, I'll probably keep the white. The white is the lampshade. So that's pretty good neutral. And what I started to do was pull out 2 shades of different colors. I think what I decided to do actually, because I already have pink and teal represented, I might need to pull in a green. Now I have 3 different quilt blocks right here kind of represented, right? We have a bluish, a purple, orange and yellow. I wouldn't want to do only orange and only yellow. I'll probably combine these 2 together. And so I can pick where I want these to be. And I'm not 100% sure yet. You know, I might want this one to be purple so that it's away from these red things. Maybe this one becomes orange. And then maybe I repeat purple again. And then maybe I flip it to be purple, orange, purple. And this one can be purple and orange. I'm not really sure. I haven't figured that completely out yet. Or maybe I bring in some other colors. I do need to look at maybe greens. So this might change a little bit. If you don't want to complicate it, if you really love purple, you could just switch these out for purples. Say you really love orange. Switch these out for some oranges. But then you can look at your whole palette together again and just make sure that things are working, right? So that's kind of the process. Even if you take out the extra stuff I'm adding, all I did here was I changed out the tones of these colors to something that matched my craft room even more. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. If you want to change out colors, don't be intimidated. We're just talking about floss and fabric. There have been times when I have stitched something and I was like, nope, that doesn't work like I thought it was. I'm going to pull those out. Actually, for instance, this one, the first yellow I picked, looked fine when I pulled it. And then when I stitched it, it just wasn't dark enough. So I pulled out what I stitched. I went back to my stash and I pulled a darker yellow to work. So don't be afraid to change things up. Even if you just changed out one color, maybe you're not into red. Maybe you want something else. Maybe you switch out your pinks for purples. This is still really cute. So don't be intimidated, make it your own, and I can't wait to see what everyone comes up with. Okay, I did have a giveaway in my last video, which was some bee-themed charts from Primrose Cottage. Oh, I have to have it right side up. And some honeycomb Berkshire Hive Ada. And the winner of that is Lynn Sipe. So I've put your comment here. Lynn, if you would please email me at the email below and I will get these out to you as soon as possible. I do have a giveaway for today. This one is spring bunny themed, well, I wouldn't really call it Easter, carrots maybe. I have more chocolate bunnies from Hands On Design, and I also have the square dance charts. This is the April, May, and June. We got carrots here, so I thought these two would be fun to put together, and some amber Ada to go with it. So if you want to be considered for this, if you would please be 18, please live in the United States, and please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and use the word chocolate somewhere in your comment. And if you would please leave those comments by March 28th, and then I will pick a winner for that as well. So thank you so much for stopping by today. I really hope you join me for the craft room stitch along with Hands On Design. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We all have craft rooms, so they're going to be the perfect pieces to go in there. And thank you so much for giving me a little bit of your time today, and happy stitching. Bye.